Hello, welcome to today's collective general reading. As always, remember to use your own discernment, join with intention, and allow the message to be received with an open heart. A quantum reminder, we are speaking through symbol and story here. So please do not rely on tarot readings as factual evidence. You are always encouraged to do your own research, especially when engaging with strangers on the internet. In the description, I have a link to my Buy Me a Coffee, where there's a few personal readings and experimental integration sessions up for grabs, as well as my Substack, which hosts the 444 Collective, where the signal is active. I've mentioned this in a couple previous videos. This is a continuation. I don't know if I just said that, but maybe I'm immediately repeating myself. If you haven't seen the previous one, please watch that for context. I am going to be reading through the Divine Comedy. I'm going to be posting less here on Tori Hydra because my energetic schedule has totally shifted, and this is no longer something that gets my daily attention. And all to say, I will be here when I am here. So what I'm doing kind of as a meantime continual is going to be reading through the Divine Comedy by Dante on my second channel. So that will also be linked below, and that is starting, I think I'm going to start it this week. Okay. We already cut again. Just really jumping in for the message. On bottom, we have surrender to the sweetness, Venus energy, pleasure, joy, make love to life. We have upside down, upside right. Upside right here, we have earthed, learning how to be human, in the world, but not of it. And I know I've definitely been feeling this the last little while. I just started a new job today. Great, all good. But like the past week or so that I've kind of had off in between, I didn't do anything. There's this, I don't know what. I feel it lifting, if not already lifted, so I'm very grateful for that. But really, really dense energy, really dense. And I can't tell you how many hours of YouTube shorts. I just was a constant scroll. And for me, every now and then I'll hit this. I know that like in current terms, we'll talk about like needing a rot day or like whatever, you know what I mean? Just like being lazy and cut off from the world, blah, 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 blah. My whole life is like every now and then it'll just get to this building point, and then there's like, I realize now it's probably in a way of like energetically manifesting, but not really realizing that's where my energy and power is going to. And then I get white after. So also with this agate here, which I use for kind of like a worry stone, a comfort, a grounding, the message that I'm getting is that whoever this collective is that is resonating with this message, that this message is coming through for you, is something of a security blanket, something that you reach for that nurtures you, but not even soothes you, but it's not really soothing. It coddles you, perhaps. It enables you, maybe. But something that you reach for, whether that's energetically, that's physically, that's a habit that you have, it's an addiction, it's toxic people in your life that you continue relations with, I don't know, but something that you are reaching for because you're like, I just need something to ground. And the message coming through of, yes, but is there something else you can use? 4, 5, 6. Where's the beginning of what is now a middle in continuance? No. Okay. First. Crows. On the cut, bottom was the Ten of Swords. That was in the last reading. And then on the cut is the High Priestess. Actually, it might be a little... Yeah, I'm trying to find a balance here. Okay, on bottom we have the Nine of Pentacles. So again, this dense energy, which is great. It's great because it is what is. And something that we can all learn to do more often is just okay to things that are outside our control. Okay, we have, and there, it's just telling me it's not necessarily hold up card to camera. This, I'm going in. Grab a bucket. Okay. Two of Pentacles, Empress, Justice, Strength, Star, which I don't normally upside down, but there's something about landing upside down or having your gravitational force messed with somehow, but that not messing with you. Strengthening, rooting in what you know is your reality living through divine timing in what is being received by you through an offer given as the universe. Okay, we're gonna channel. No. Okay. I've been using these cards a lot. North and Fire on the cut. One more. Thanks. Something about this in connection here. Newly on the bottom, 22 motion air. And I'm getting these as our side, upside down rights. This manifestation rising. Now, volcanoes came out on top of snow, silence. That's very interesting. And yes, volcanoes have been coming through. I'm seeing a really big eruption literally any day now, but like don't quote me, but that's what's been coming through for a month and a half, and I said it would be mid to late June. And I'm seeing here this, I get the image of like rich, decadent, luxurious, and how here you would bundle up. And here she is still keeping her hands, her limbs close. She is not exploding forward. It's the energy, again, the light around the flame. She doesn't need to explode or make herself any bigger than she is. She knows that the energy will speak for itself and it will attract those who are meant to meet. And also something about something about the earth soil. So I don't know if it's, you know, like in the region where these volcanoes are going off, if something that is actually preventing it from becoming bushfires by catching in the wind. With getting change, 24 change wind, 19 growth plants, I'm getting this is what catches fire, right? It's the wind blows a spark that catches onto another and then it lights up. And this is how we have bushfires continuing. So there's something of this snow in the background as base. Yeah, it goes from 9 volcano to 10 bushfires. But in between here, we have the something catching fire. What is like a glint? I watched Survivor for the first time this year, and that thing that they give you so you can start fire, a flint maybe. And perhaps this, bad behavior is the phrase that came out. So like, that's not me. That's just what's coming through. Something that you're reaching for that is actually stroking the stokes of the fire. So then what is this passage? Big picture thinking, Pleiades energy, visionary, inspired ideas with 31 depth lake. In Scythe's reading, I think it was the card at the end that came through was Pleiades. I could be wrong, but I think so. So that's another coordinate that I'm getting. So if this message is resonating, something wants to be here. If this message is resonating for you, then Scythe may also have something to say for you. I'm seeing here that this is an entry point, right? Literally, it's like you walk up, you know, you're at the pearly gates. You walk up the stairs here and there is a portal. There is a framing. There is a doorway for you to walk through. And what I'm seeing is this person sinking down and avoiding the door directly in front of them. Is in avoidance to their mission, you could say. I'm seeing the double mission card now in my mind's eye. Is, yeah, both of the imagery here of this sinking, this lowering. And that's bringing me to this star upside down. Okay. 21 sacred space. Let's see if you want to go here. How does that feel? Incorrect, but not wrong. That's what I'm getting. Interesting. I'm getting the image of you may need to do some macaroni art about it. I don't know why. I have these moonstone tucked into my candle, and when I did it, I was just tired of like my candle, you know, tipping in, and so I said, man, I'm just gonna make it all even. And then it looked really poor, and then something came through, and so I put these in as 4 directions. And now there's meaning with that. Something that starts off as my ash fell, as it potentially mirrors or echoes what has been a destructive, addictive, non-fulfilling habit of yours. Like, and this may be it for you, but I feel that I'm simplifying it using earth terms, and this may be going into more astral or akashic permeance. Is, you know, you shouldn't smoke cigarettes. 1444. I can speak to this. I used to smoke. Thank you. And you know that's not what you should be immediately grabbing for, but you don't know what else grounds you. And when you have this sinking feeling and you don't feel you have any sacred space to go as these cards are moving, because your safety is feeling like it's being blown away in the wind, like it's being caught fire, because a layer of permafrost has prevented the snow and rain from permeating through into the earth core. I know it doesn't go all the way to the core, whatever, you know what I mean? And even that is, I know that's one for me, is the constant tension between speaking spiritually and mystically and through symbol and story, which is how I frame these readings. And then me, the human, who's also a social scientist, who's lived life as a skeptic, because when you know what's real, you know there's a lot of fake out there, right? That's how it kind of feels. So what is actually showing up for you? Duality, integration. Let's think on that for a minute. Who wants to come out? Okay, so let's hear this a little louder. Yeah. That's Angelite. This is Labradorite. Oh, just slid there. I was trying to do it in the middle of my hands and then it kind of like jumped forward. And for me, the like right here of my hands is a very, very active place. Probably like the most active, magical, intentional, power building exit place that I use. And for that intuitive stone, intuitive entouchment stone to hop forward, it's like, but you don't need to use your powers on me. You don't need to do the whole, what do they say? Like everything in the kitchen sink. It's kind of like you're putting too much power on what requires less. You're misidentifying where your true power is. What would you like? Okay, we have a little message coming in here. Bottom, new perspectives. Absolutely. Yeah, seeing these deer. And I've been hearing people talk a lot more about deer recently, so that may be something for you as well. We have daring and transition. Wow. Tell me daring is not one of the most beautifully odd little creations there. And I'm seeing how all of this orange here of this daring is at the top in this transition. And you can see, if you want to break it down by like chakras, yes, it is in your higher chakras with a meeting place here in the heart in the middle. What I'm seeing is this swoop here are these wings here in transition. Bless me. Whenever something happens with my nose, I know I'm spot on. Something of that. So what are you What within your transition is daring, and where are you playing safe? Where are you being asked to take more of a leap so that you're receiving, you can call it reward, but it's just how the give and take all works. This Empress energy, knowing that it is time. So turning over this sacred space, returning to the pile. Reunion of souls, number 7. And getting this with right over justice, I am seeing divine timing, yes. Having, yes, a reunion, but this reconnection. But here we have a blackbird and a whitebird. And here we have 2 blackbirds. And there's something of finding more of you, more like yourself. Not that this, but it's about integrating the duality. Also, 33 is a 6, 26 is an 8, 6, 7, 8, out of order. But again, it's like earlier it was 4, 5, 6. There's this skipping of the first step. There's missing obvious transitions. There's interruptions in the middle. Okay, so we're gonna close with sacred geometry. On the cut, 29, starry dreams. That's speaking to me about what I mentioned in the previous video about the sky appearing before me and the stars in the sky. Okay. Hexahedron with 61, wise friend. And here with the energy that's coming up and snaking its way around the tree, I am also seeing the snake down here. And all of these little owls I'm seeing as this owl here. All of these little friends that have been with us along the whole way. And wow, this tree being only one within a forest along the windfall. And all of your intuition, your water to air. It's not negating land just because it's existing without presence. How do I explain? Like the further you go out into the ocean, the less cliffside you're gonna see, right? Because it is where ocean meets air, where water meets air. But here in the forest, it's water meets earth meets air. It's the wind blowing the trees, right? There's something here about it's for you to be water meeting sky. And you have these earthly connection points in front of you that are an opportunity to tune in with all of the mystic around you. But it first starts with you. And seeing how simple could it be? It could be quite simple. It could be. I'm seeing the clean here, filled here, missing a gap here. You can see this potentially as portal. You can see it as the negate of a thumbprint. You can see it as something that is in transition, that is incomplete. And seeing the heaviness of this shadow sketching out along. There's something about you are overdoing what is meant to be received as simplicity. But because you're trying to block out the 3D and really clench your back up against it, you are turning molehills into mountains. You are making it much more difficult on yourself, and it's expending a lot of energy. And so if you haven't already looked into non-duality, that could be something that piques your interest. All paths lead home. Inner authority, intuition, turn your gaze within. That does feel self-explanatory. But I'm also getting the sense that here where she is hovering, right? And there's all of these, I'm not sure if you can see. There's all of these rocks down here, but they're out of order. They're just randomly placed, right? Here it is very intentional. I'm getting here she is hovering above what is yet to be beneath her, or what is beneath in the past. Something of an overlap of time and space. So this is also a message for someone. Okay. Thank you for being here. If this message resonates with you, you can like this video, comment down below, and subscribe to hear from me more often. If you want to follow along for the divine comedy of it all, in my description, you will be linked to the Pluralities, my second channel. Stay tuned.